Dustin Poirier tweeted, he said, "Welcome to the big leagues, Paddy Pimblett. One up for the legends." Right. What do you think about just like you carry? How much pride do you?
We're up 3. He beat BSD. I beat Fazeev, and I just beat Paddy. We're up 3 right now. Topuria took out Max, so we might be 3-1. But I'm going to try to avenge that one.
There's a lot of speculations going on. Oh, is Conor going to come back? Is John going to fight Pereira? What Dana is kind of, is not uncertain about. But I believe with performance like this man has delivered each and every time, I believe Justin and Ilia potentially becomes the headliner for that card.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. It should be. It should be. If you want to talk about, being fair competitively, especially in the performance that he puts, like, why wouldn't you? Right. In the perfect picture, you would want Justin to fight Ilia, beat him at the White House while being an American. Now, will that happen? Fuck.
So Ilia is laughing now because they have dirty boxing, really, They just fighting hard, but there is no good technique. But Ilia will be left now because Ilia has such a high level boxing.
Not only did Justin Gaethje's interim to the division, but it also identified his next target. Ilia Topuria moved forward.
Right from the start, both fighters are openly calling each other out and demanding this matchup. When two of the most dangerous fighters in the division are simultaneously challenging one another like this, it goes way beyond just promotion. This is how inevitable fights get made.
But I believe with performance like this man has delivered each and every time, I believe Justin and Ilia potentially becomes the headliner for that card.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. It should be. It should be. If you want to talk about, being fair competitive.
Although Justin admitted that he sustained significant injuries and would require time to heal,
Meanwhile, one of them is focused on something much bigger. He specifically mentioned a June card and made it crystal clear that competing on that event matters more to him than anything else happening right now. Opportunities like this don't come around often, and only something major would stop it from happening.
Sure, the adrenaline's still flowing a little bit, but do you have an update on physically, how you feel? Are you going to need some time off? Is there possibly anything broken after?
I definitely need some time off. He fucking rocked my brain a couple times. And the only thing we have over the more dangerous sports, which is boxing and football, is we get to take time. And so I will do that, but the White House is in June, and, I represent this country. I represented it tonight, and I hope to be, obviously, look at the position and the opportunity they just gave me here. There's no way they're keeping me off that card unless I'm dead.
When the topic of a potential White House matchup with Ilia came up, Justin remained true to himself and refused to exaggerate it, but he recognized its potential size even in the...
When it comes to building excitement, Justin believes this fight would be absolutely perfect for that kind of stage, especially with Ilia's meteoric rise, his ability to end fights decisively, and how perfectly their fighting styles would mesh together. Plus, he made it obvious he's prepared to step up if the undisputed championship ends up on the line.
Given how popular Ilia's become and just the method of victory he's had and your style of fighting, and add those two to the White House, how big do you think that fight could be between you two?
If I had any bit of a personality, it'd be fucking huge. But I just can't. I can't lie. I can't exaggerate. It's what I do. It's who I am. It's who my parents taught me to be. But, there's no doubt it would be the best, one of the best fights that they could definitely put on. It'll be for an undisputed belt, and I think they want to have 6 or 7, whatever. They want to have as many as possible. So if he's not back by then, they will strip him, and I will be undisputed, and then I'll fight for the belt on there.
Speaking of callouts, Ilia went straight after Paddy, first mocking him for not being able to finish an aging opponent while still cashing his biggest career payday in the process. Then he shifted his focus towards securing victory before delivering a brutal warning to everyone watching.
Ilia, no matter what comes next,
taking on Ilia definitely won't be easy. But Justin is staying confident in his approach. He says the secret is having complete trust in his preparation, his coaching team, and his own abilities. He's fighting with clear intention, and while he wants to win and believes it's his destiny, He admits the outcome isn't completely in his control because only time will tell what happens.
You are the first two-time interim champion in UFC history. You don't usually get too many second chances, but here you go to a unifier with an undefeated top 3 pound-for-pound fighter. I know he is not Khabib, but what are you taking into this fight with Ilia in terms of lessons and why you're going to make it work this time?
Just got to trust the preparation, trust in my coaches and trust in my skills. I'm here for a reason. I hope it's my destiny, but I don't get to write that, so.
He had a message for champion Ilia Topuria. Justin Gaethje didn't hold back. He shrugged off the hype, the trash talk, and the spotlight, saying he isn't concerned with sending it.
Rather than overthinking it, Gaethje puts complete trust in his coaching staff, letting them handle the heavy lifting. When it comes to studying Topuria, developing the perfect game plan, and drilling it into him during every training session. For Gaethje, everything comes down to preparation, precision, and execution. When he steps into that octagon, all the planning and hard work from his team will speak louder than any trash talk could.
Do you have a message for Ilia Topuria if he's watching this?
No. No, I don't give a fuck.
The message will be in the octagon.
I don't give a fuck. I control my thoughts. I control my emotions. I won't give him the time of day. I'll, rely on my coach to watch him a lot. I've seen him fight, obviously, but I don't really go back and watch these guys. I really rely on my coach. I watched Patty today. I watched Patty and Chandler today. But I really rely on my coach to create a game plan and instill it into training. And yeah, this is so fast. I have no idea what the fuck's going on right now.
He emphasized there was never a question of motivation, even after.
Throughout his entire career, he's been driven by one ultimate goal, having championship gold around his waist. The moment he's talking about represents the perfect opportunity to write that final chapter.
Be neck and neck. It was either going to be you, Patty, or Armin fighting Ilia. Then obviously the news, Ilia wasn't going to fight early this year. At any point, was it frustrating or just difficult to get that motivation because it kind of felt like you were right there and now you have to win one more after already going through all the battles? Was that ever difficult to have to get up for one more challenge before that opportunity?
No. I mean, I wanted it to be for a championship. This makes me a champion on paper with the UFC, so I'm very proud of what I accomplished tonight. I'm proud of the opportunity that it's gained me to fight a guy like Ilia. And this is everything I've ever wanted, this chance to write in my last chapter.
Congrats.
It's going to be special.
Analysts are weighing in on this potential matchup too, and Dana White thinks it's going to be an absolute striking war. Both Justin Gaethje and Ilia Topuria throw with serious bad intentions. If Gaethje shows up fully prepared, this guarantees fireworks from the opening bell to the final horn. White expects pure violence when these two step into the cage, with both men capable of ending things in an instant. When two of the division's hardest hitters collide, fans should expect non-stop action, elite-level technique, and a fight that could steal the show on any card.
One, and now that it seems that it's going to be Gaethje versus Topuria, it's probably going to be a crazy fight also, most likely striking. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I think that Ilia hits like a truck, and so does Gaethje, and I think if Gaethje prepares properly and gets ready.
Next up, Demetrius Johnson.
The consensus seems to be that Gaethje versus Topuria is the perfect fight to make. There's some question about whether Justin wants to defend an interim belt, since he's clearly focused on the real championship. Looking ahead, John is an extremely disciplined and strategic fighter with serious finishing power. You only need to look at his wins over Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway to see that he expects Topuria to stay patient, keep his composure, and carefully read the fight as it develops, which sets up a fascinating stylistic matchup against Gaethje.
Fight Ilia Topuria, or he's going to fight Arman Tsarukyan. And I think the right thing is for him to fight Ilia Topuria. But if Ilia Topuria is not ready, I'm not sure if Justin Gaethje wants to defend an interim championship. I think he really wants that undisputed. And hopefully we get Ilia Topuria. Now, when I look forward to Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje, I think Ilia Topuria is just way too disciplined on the feet. I think he has the knockout power. You look what he's done against Charles Oliveira. You look what he's done against Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria is very strategic, disciplined, where he's going to have his hands up. He's going to pot. He's going to get a look at what's going on. I just feel like he's a way cleaner boxer, and he puts his combinations together 1, 2, 3, nothing overzealous, but a fight's a fight.
When it comes to Arman Tsarukyan, Johnson sees him as mostly following whatever direction the UFC wants to go. His ideal situation would have Tsarukyan fighting Gaethje after this potential bout. But considering Justin will probably wait for an undisputed title fight against Topuria, that matchup might not happen right away. In the meantime, Tsarukyan will keep building his profile, doing media appearances, working on his wrestling, and staying active. Johnson hopes he eventually gets his shot against Gaethje, so whoever wins that fight can then earn their opportunity against Topuria.
I believe call of the UFC, meaning that the UFC dictates what's going to be next for Arman Tsarukyan. I think he should fight Justin Gaethje next, but like I said earlier, I think Justin Gaethje might hang on to the undisputed. He might wait for the undisputed opportunity to fight Ilia Topuria. So if that happens, you're going to have Arman Tsarukyan keep going on these wild side quests by doing more media and also doing more grappling, which is fine too. I wish he would get the opportunity to fight Justin Gaethje, and then those guys can decide between Justin Gaethje and Arman Tsarukyan if whoever wins can fight.
Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo both agreed that based on the kind of performances Justin keeps delivering, a fight between him and Ilia could easily headline a major UFC event. Everyone seems to agree this is exactly the type of fight that deserves the spotlight and could define what comes next for both men's careers.
I believe with performance like this man has delivered each and every time, I believe Justin and Ilia potentially becomes the headliner for that card.
You're 100% right. And you're 100% right, and it should be. You know, it should be. It should be. If you want to talk about, you know, being fair.
While Justin's performance against Paddy was impressive, fighting Ilia.
This would present a completely different challenge, though. He points out that Topuria is an extremely technical compact fighter who's excellent at defending himself and maintaining proper form, which is very different from the mistakes Gaethje was able to capitalize on against Pimblett. So, the analysis emphasizes that Gaethje will need to adjust his approach when facing someone who combines defensive awareness with striking accuracy, making this fight much more complex and difficult.
You know, especially the performance that he puts, like, why wouldn't you? You know, in the perfect picture, you would want Justin to fight Ilia, beat him at the White House while being an American. Now, will that happen? Fuck. But as much as we're kind of glazing and praising Justin, Ilia is different. Ilia 100%. Is different. And there's one thing, watching that fight with Paddy Pimblett, you can see, one, his head was up, and then two, defensively, like Paddy would do this, like some amateur shit. Bro, like that's, and I'm surprised.
We all do that. We all do that.
And I'm surprised. And Justin and he did hit him, but you could tell Justin was going to the body because he was going over like that overhand. Yeah. That he did nail him, but these are things that when Justin fights Ilia Topuria, it's gonna be different. He's gonna fight a shorter opponent, somebody compact, and somebody that could really keep his freaking hands up, that just understands the finesse of fighting.
The breakdown also emphasizes how Justin executed his game plan perfectly, with huge credit going to his coaching team, Trevor Whitman, Ben George, and the rest, for tailoring the strategy specifically for his opponent. The observation is that Justin doesn't always fight this tactically, but he adapts based on who he's facing and what they bring to the cage. Taking on Ilia Topuria will be a test of skill, preparation, and danger that will push Justin to his absolute limits.
Justin Gaethje did what he wanted to do, but we have to realize now, coaches, Trevor Whitman, Ben, and you know, George, these guys, and Luke, they put together a game plan for the opponent. You really don't see Justin look like that. What did Justin look like that when he fought Faziev? Has Justin looked like that when he fought earlier fights with Barbosa? Did he look like that when he fought Cowboy? Did he look like that when he fought in World Series? No. I think it's you shape the game plan based on the opponent and based on whatever they're giving you out there. So I think Justin will make those necessary adjustments. But like you said, Ilia is a different monster. So that will be an intriguing.
Daniel Cormier has praise for both fighters and what they bring to every fight. He watched Justin Gaethje apply relentless pressure on Paddy Pimblett, nearly finishing him several times before ultimately claiming the interim championship. At the same time, Cormier points to Ilia Topuria's lethal track record, having knocked out elite competition like Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, and Josh Emmett. History shows that underestimating him is always a mistake. Things tend to work out in his favor when opponents make that error.
That laid it all on the octagon floor. I thought Justin Gaethje was going to get Paddy Pimblett out of there on multiple occasions, but Paddy would not quit. Paddy Pimblett kept fighting, but I think the pressure that Justin put on him early gave him enough of a lead to become the interim champion. But Ilia Topuria is knocking out the best fighters that we've ever seen in the divisions that he's competing in. Knocked out Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski while he was at featherweight, then goes to 155 and knocks out Charles Oliveira. But Justin Gaethje reminded us tonight that when you overlook him, things have a habit of working out in Justin Gaethje's way.
But Robert Whittaker isn't...
Bottom line, Ilia Topuria's striking ability ranks among the very best in the entire UFC, and his wrestling plus jiu-jitsu skills are equally sharp with perfect technique and devastating power. Basic game plans won't cut it, but Whittaker expects this to be something special.
Different, more tailored Gaethje when he steps in against Topuria.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give up on my boy that quick. Okay, but I'll just lay it out there. Ilia's striking is leagues above everybody.
Yeah,
like just about everybody in the UFC.
Yeah, man.
And the wrestling and jiu-jitsu is there as well.
Mm-hmm.
His timing, his instincts, his instinct to fire off in his counterattacks. He'll make you pay for every step you take. It's a hard fight.
Yeah,
Things
man.
have got to change in Gaethje's camp to make the fight competitive.
Yeah.
Right now, the Gaethje that fought Paddy won't beat Ilia right now.
Yeah.
But that's not saying that we'll see that Gaethje when he fights Ilia.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just the game plan for Paddy to just make it doggy. But
Make sure to hit that subscribe button for more fight breakdowns and analysis.